Hello and welcome to our first episode of the yet untitled Patch Notes show. We do need to come up with a better title than just Patch Notes, but now that we know weekly we will be getting patch note updates from Bethesda, we thought why not do a Monday show to talk about what's coming to us on Tuesday. This episode will be a little redundant as we did cover some of these notes in our last episode, but we figured we should start with the first actual update, so here it is. This will be for the December 4th patch. And joining me today is our very own Daniel. How you doing, Daniel?
Doing well.
Awesome. Ariel will not be joining us today, but these patch note shows are just pretty loose. We'll kind of bring in whoever wants to come along, so to speak. So, all right, to start things off right at the top of the list, one thing that's worth noting is the size of this patch is 36 megabytes on PC and 3 gigabytes on console. Approximately. From what I understand, the console updates up till now have been pretty beefy, so that's probably some good news for consoles. I don't understand how console patching works from a technical standpoint, so I don't know why it's so much bigger, but it is.
I think it's something to do with how they store files and how you can change the files, but...
okay. They have to update more stuff, basically. Something to that regard?
Yeah, cool. Something to that regard. I'm no expert, but that's what I've garnered.
Okay. And then we've got some general PC performance updates. The frame rate is once again uncapped. So the bug from back in beta where the speed of the game engine was affected by the frame rate of the by the user is gone. So I understood that was an engine issue, but somehow they've taken care of it. So that's
yeah. I wouldn't call it a bug so much as an oversight.
Okay.
No idea how they managed to fix it since the entire engine was based on that.
Yeah, it was in Fallout 4
I'm glad they
as well.
have.
So that's whatever. But yeah, it's fixed. That's good. So people that do want to get those really high frame rates can do so. And some stability updates. They don't say specifically what, just that the game client and servers have received additional stability improvements. Never a bad thing. And probably the highlight of this patch is the increase in stash size from 400 pounds to 600 pounds. We talked about this last week, but they are saying they're calling it a conservative adjustment, and they plan to increase it further in the future once they verified it does not impact the stability of the game. Always good to be able to put more stuff in our stash.
Yeah, I'm starting to run out of room. I'm getting kind of paranoid about it.
I've just been carrying everything in my power armor, like knowing that Tuesday is coming. So just waiting for it and hoping it doesn't ruin anything. It sounds like everything is good and stable with that 600 pounds. So that's good. Some balance updates for enemies. They have decreased the XP rewards for killing high level creatures. So I guess people going out and farming higher level things should see a little bit of a drop in XP for that. There's no explanation as to why, just it's been done. So
I know that I haven't seen anybody get like massive amounts of XP from killing a boss or a high level creature. But I do know that a lot of people were complaining that they were getting a lot more levels from just killing stuff than actually doing the quests.
Oh, sure.
So that may be like a balancing issue where they're kind of making it, yeah, if you do a whole bunch of quests, you get a lot of XP. And if you kill a whole bunch of things, you get a lot of XP. But
you can't just go ahead and straight farm to get XP, or you can, but it won't be nearly as efficient. So that makes sense. That's cool. That's a good change. We talked about this one last week as well. They fixed an issue with how much boss loot was dropped. So players should now correctly receive 2 to 4 items per boss, depending on the creature's difficulty level. Which is good. More loot to fill those bigger stash boxes. Automatic weapon damage has been increased by 20% across the board. And discussing with some other people, there was some question of what does Bethesda actually consider to be an automatic weapon. And as I understand it, it's you hold down the button and bullets come out. Not like an auto shotgun or a semi-auto rifle. That's as far as I understand anyway.
Yeah, I'm guessing they mean pure autos like the LMG and the 50 cal.
50 cal, the miniguns.
Miniguns, the automatic grenade launcher, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because those do have low damage to start out with. So I'm guessing that's only going to be those.
Yeah.
But it could be that they're doing every automatic weapon. So we'll just have to see when.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I hope it's the case, honestly.
We'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly, we will. I'm kind of addicted to an auto shotgun right now, so I would not mind seeing 20% damage increase to an auto shotgun, but it would also feel a little bit broken. So We'll kind of see what they do with it. But either way, more damage is good. PvP, this one we kind of joked about last week, but the Cryolator will now be fixed, doing its statuses accordingly, being chilled, frosted, or frozen based on how many times a target is hit. And the duration of movement speed reduction applied by these effects have been significantly decreased. In the earlier patch notes, before they changed them to these official ones, it said from 2 hours to 30 seconds. So, sorry, no more forcing people to log out with your Cryolator in PvP. It's so ridiculous. We got some...
They should have just left that in there.
just as a joke.
That would have just been fun.
I've never seen it used, but amusing nonetheless. Frustrating, I can only imagine, but still, it's kind of funny. We've got some other just general bug fixes here too on consoles. They fixed an issue that could cause a player to encounter an infinite loading screen when signing out of their console account. And specifically on Xbox, they addressed a crash that would occur when sending multiple team invites immediately after exiting to a player who is not a friend. Seems like a very specific case, but it was a bug and it is now fixed.
I can just imagine the one guy who did that.
Yeah, right. Sounds like there's...
Who just complained enough, and but that's like, well, we don't know why you would do this, but okay, we can fix that.
Right. Multiple team invites immediately after exiting Vault 76 to a player who is not a friend.
It's like such a specific use case.
Yeah, it's like one person comes right out of the vault and just pings everybody on the map to join a team, I guess. I don't know. Weird. But if you're that guy, you're good to go now.
Hey, if you're that guy, send us an email and let us know exactly what you're thinking.
Yeah, right. Come on the show. Some general fixes across the board. Power armor will no longer keep you locked within it. And good. And the flipboards inside the nuke silos is no longer display portions of launch codes too soon after the codes are reset for the week. So they're having some issues with the launch codes being displayed and supposedly now fixed as well. We've got some camp stuff. This is pretty big too. Moving camps will now correctly put standalone items back in your stored tab. I don't know how many water purifiers I've built because I lost it whenever I moved my camp, but I'm glad that we won't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, I stored everything before I moved it.
Yeah, I've only moved it a handful of times since I really kind of found my spot, but those times when I log in and somebody's already there, I ended up rebuilding a handful of things, and it's an annoyance, but good quality of life change there. One for PS4, wires will no longer appear to float in midair when attempting to connect two or more objects. Turrets will no longer become invisible if the player is not present at their camp when the turrets are destroyed. It's kind of a weird one too, but no more invisible turrets.
I can imagine that'd be really annoying.
Yeah, if you go into somebody's camp, destroy their stuff, but then the turrets just vanish if they're not there. It's a little weird. Perk card ranking up. Perk cards will no longer cause a duplicate card to appear when the card is ranked up. I've had that happen to me a couple of times, and I couldn't figure out how I had so many copies of Cannibal. But when I ranked
Why
up...
are you ranking up Cannibal, Duke?
Cannibal 3 is amazing.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah. So much. Like, if you're like full-time power armor, it's really a hassle because you have to get out of your power armor to eat. But if basically like just eating a super mutant, or at least at level 42 where I am right now, you get half health. Easy from just eating one thing. So it's pretty good. Rank 3 Cannibal, if you've got the space for it. I really like it. But yeah, so when I went from 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, it kicked out single rank copies of each of those cards. So I now have a bunch of copies of Cannibal just hanging around. So we perk cards there and social stuff. They fixed an issue that could prevent a team from being correctly formed in a game world after creating the team on the main menu when both players are using new characters. Again, hyper-specific scenario, but it's fixed. And display durations for social notifications have been reduced when many notifications are pending. This should help address an issue in which players did not see that they had successfully joined a team. Weird little UI bugs and social bugs taken care of. Onto mutations. The electrically charged and unstable isotope mutations will no longer provide the player with bonus health, so no more invincible Supermen running around with mutations.
I've had the electrically charged mutation. I'm not aware that I had a health bonus.
I had it once and I don't remember seeing it in the description, but that was a while ago. So
I just had it and I was confused why every once in a while someone would hit me and get shocked.
Well, there you go. It's a pretty cool one. But yeah, so that one person that became completely unkillable, they have fixed it. So
Let's hope they moved out of that fissure site.
yeah, right. The user interface bugs here. Players will now be disconnected from the game world after 10 minutes of inactivity and will be prompted with a 1-minute timer before being kicked. So no more AFK camping, whatever it is you're doing. I imagine that's just to cut down on server traffic probably, or something. The Atomic Shop on PC, cursor position will no longer be disjointed from clicks in the Atomic Shop while using 16:10 resolutions. Interesting one.
That's very interesting.
Again, weird little specific things, but enough people out there with 16:10 that were having couldn't click on the right thing apparently.
We have to have it in an official patch note.
Yep, exactly. We've got, this one's great too. The red crosshairs and enemy health bars will no longer persist on screen when an enemy is no longer in view. That's really annoying, and I'm very glad it's going away.
Yeah, I love being 10 feet away from an enemy, and they're behind me, and I'm in a different room, and I still got the little red dot or my red crosshair.
Yeah, like, is it in front of me anymore? Is it behind me? Yeah, it's fixed. So I honestly just thought that was the game was, and I was sort of learning to deal with it. Here's a good one too. Localization. Subtitles will now appear correctly, and English voiceovers will play for game clients in languages that do not have their own localized voiceovers when listening to holotapes or interacting with robots. So if you're not playing the game where it's localized, things will appear correctly for you. So Pip-Boy fixed an issue that could cause duplicate data to appear in the Pip-Boy's stat and effects interfaces. Here's the, again, the one we covered last week. The dying while severely encumbered will no longer remove all map markers when attempting to respawn. Instead, the player can now respawn at the nearest discovered map marker as intended. I know Ariel said she had that one happen to her where you're carrying way too much stuff, you die, and the only place you can go is Vault 76. And last but not least, the quest objective notifications will no longer appear for inactive quests immediately upon connecting to the world.
Thank goodness.
So it was just kind of a nice little quality of life fix too, I think.
It bugs me so much when I log into a world and there's like all these quests pop up and then it goes, no, those aren't your quests, and then it pops more quests up.
Yeah, yep, exactly. That's just did it an hour ago and it's like, oh, there it goes. Okay. So yeah, that is our December 4th patch notes. Oh, any final thoughts on these, Daniel?
It's good quality of life improvements, good changes to the UI. We're making good, steady progress, which is what I want to see Bethesda be doing.
Exactly. Yep, I agree.
Yep, they're thinking things through, they're communicating, and I think that's what we need more than anything right now.
Yeah, just kind of a state of the game. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're looking at. And then those weekly patch notes and weekly patches are going to be huge. And as I said at the beginning of the show, we will be doing this every Monday, provided we do have patch notes from Bethesda to talk about. So thank you so much for listening. And we are still doing our regular shows, of course, every other Thursday. And as of this morning, too, our website is actually up and pretty much complete. So if you head over to outofthevaultshow.com, you can find all of our social links to all of our show subscriptions on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, etc. And a little bit of information about us pretty soon, too, once we get that fleshed out. Once again, thanks, and we'll catch you next time.